held at Karnataka Stadium, Udupi, Karnataka. The previous event, highs and reserves were announced.
Pronunciation has to be. You can't get away with this. Yeah, I'm a Bengali and this is my way of pronouncing and I'm a Nepali and you've got to internationally. Because this is now a national event. Live telecast of the 18th National Youth Athletic Championships 2023 from the Mahatma Gandhi complex here at Ajarkad in Udupi, Karnataka. Morning session, we've seen the 3000 meters, two finals starting at 6:45. The grueling 3000 meters for the under 18 came up with some scintillating performances. We had the women's or the girls hammer throw, the decathlon there as well. We had the heats of the 400 meters and not to miss the blue ribbon event, the 100 meters. And later on in the afternoon, we will have the semi-finals of the boys 100 meters. As Virender joins me after a super hospitality lunch here. Well, there was everything for the asking, and I'm quite surprised, Virender, as to with all the food intake that everyone's been having, how do you work over the next 4 hours? It certainly was fascinating. As I said, the hospitality absolutely brilliant. Good afternoon to you, Virender.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर, सभी दर्शकों को हमारा प्यार भरा नमस्कार। और एक बार पुनः फिर पहले दिन के दोपहर पश्चात सायकालीन सत्र में हम सभी एथलेटिक इवेंट्स लेकर आपके सामने फिर उपस्थित हैं और सभी दर्शकों का हम यहाँ पर स्वागत करते हैं। और जैसा कि मिलिंद वागले जी ने आपको बताया कि सुबह 6:45 पर आज जब पहली इवेंट आयोजित की गई 3000 मीटर वुमेन अंडर 18 के फाइनल, और जिसमें बहुत ही अच्छे आउटस्टैंडिंग परफॉर्मेंस यहाँ पर हमें देखने को मिले। और उसके साथ ही 3000 मीटर मैन अंडर 18 और उसके बाद फील्ड पर भी हैमर थ्रो की जो इवेंट आयोजित हुई वुमेन अंडर 18 की, उसमें भी बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस यहाँ हमें देखने को मिला है। एक अच्छा प्रदर्शन पहले ही दिन के प्रातःकालीन सत्र में। और फिलहाल हम सायकालीन सत्र की प्रतियोगिताएं यहाँ प्रारंभ करने जा रहे हैं। डिकाथलॉन के हाई जंप के इवेंट्स मॉर्निंग सेशन में डिकाथलॉन के 3 इवेंट संपन्न हुए हैं, 100 मीटर, लॉन्ग जंप और शॉर्टपुट। और शेष 2 इवेंट जो डिकाथलॉन के पहले दिन 5 इवेंट आयोजित किए जाने हैं, उसके शेष 2 इवेंट पहले दिन के बचते हैं, वह हाई जंप, डिकाथलॉन और 400 मीटर। ये इवेंट्स आज सायकालीन सत्र में आयोजित किए जाएंगे। इसके साथ ही फील्ड पर डिस्कस थ्रो फाइनल मैन अंडर 18, लॉन्ग जंप वुमेन अंडर 18 के फाइनल और शॉर्टपुट वुमेन अंडर 18 के फाइनल, ये आज के सायकालीन सत्र की प्रतियोगिता है। और बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत आज सुबह इस प्रतियोगिता की पहले दिन हुई है। 3000 मीटर दौड़ में एक अच्छे कीर्तिमान के साथ, एक अच्छे रिजल्ट्स के साथ, जहां 4 वुमेन एथलीट ने जो क्वालिफाइंग मार्क था वहां तक पहुंची हैं और उसे छुआ है, छुआ ही नहीं, उसे क्रॉस किया।
Oh yes, absolutely. I think from the perspective of these under 18 boys and girls, the first task in front of them is to make sure that they achieve that landmark that you did mention about in all the 48 events that we're going to have over the next 3 days, because that would give them an opportunity. I was talking to some of the girls when I interviewed them, when I spoke to them, and they all mentioned that they'd never ever crossed the boundaries of India on a foreign show. And I know, for example, when the first time when I traveled abroad, as a young 17, 18-year-old boy, how different or what a joy it is when you are saying that, oh, मैं तो विदेश जा रहा हूँ. So for these young boys and girls under 18 to travel to Uzbekistan will be a different experience altogether. We'll talk about all of this as we now watch the uh, high jump for the decathlon. Virendra just mentioned we had the 100 meters, the long jump, the short put, and now in the afternoon session we have the high jump and the 400 meters in the decathlon. The complete athlete that you talk about on day one, 5 events, and then 5 events on day two, the 110 meters hurdles, the discus, the pole vault, javelin, and the 1500 meters. For those of you who are not accustomed to the decathlon, it's all about points. We've been talking since the morning that you may not be a good 100 meters runner, but you make up your points with the long jump, or you make up your points with the throws, or let's say the 1500 meters or the 400. But I know for sure with all my experience that you got to be average or above average if you need to be amongst the first three to muster up those points.
As we know, athletics as a track and field. So this is a combination of track and field in the decathlon. You have to be on track also, and you have to be on field also. On field in the jumps as well as in the throws.
Yes, we've seen the big guns in at the world arena over the last so many years on various channels that you youngsters watch, and the high jump, of course, is one of the events, which is the fourth event on day one of the decathlon. The decathlon, as it is mentioned, is a composition of 10 different track and field events, finishing off with the 1500 meters. It's the heptathlon for women. The big name that comes to mind over the years is Jackie Joyner Kersey from the United States, way back about 30 or 40 years ago. So, yes, this is an event where you need to be a jack of all 10. You may not be a master of all 10, but you need to be a jack of all 10 events if you want to be a complete decathlon. And yes, as we did talk about the decathlon, this began when Gustav V of Sweden, Gustav V, the king of Sweden, told Jim Thorpe, the famous American athlete, "Sir, you are the world's greatest athlete." He didn't mention, he didn't say that to the 100 meters runner, or he didn't say that to the a long jumper. He mentioned this to Jim Thorpe, one of the greatest athletes, the decathlons of all time. He said, "Sir, you are the world's greatest athlete." And that coming from the king of Sweden when the Olympic Games in Stockholm were held in 1912 just goes to show the importance to this event.
Sure, as we already informed you, and Milind Bogle sir also informed you in the very early stage of today's competition, when the start of the decathlon event, the 100 meter, that today on the day one they have to go for 100 meter, long jump, short put, high jump, and the 400 meter, and on the another day they have to go for the 110 meter hurdles, discus throw, pole vault, javelin throw, and 1500 meter.
They can do a Fosbury flop here. So unlike Nid Jam, where the high jumpers were allowed to do only were allowed to do everything except the Fosbury flop, here you're allowed to do the Fosbury flop, which of course became famous because of Dick Fosbury, the American high jumper, who created a sensation with that style of jumping. But otherwise, high jumping, as we all know, has been of various styles over the years: the straddle, the scissor, the roll, and now of course the Fosbury flop being the most popular. And you know, Virendra, when you're watching these athletes, these are of course the decathlons, and these are not the high jumpers, the regular high jumpers. Even the decathlons all over the world in the high jump use the Fosbury flop. So the 18-year-olds, the faster they learn the Fosbury flop, the better it is.
Yes, it will be better if they learn the Fosbury, and it will help them to perform at the best. And also, as in the combined events, you will get points on the basis of your performance. So you have to make your some of the events, maybe all the events, but some of the events you have to be perfect.
There you are using the Fosbury flop, which you just saw. The run up, bringing the athlete into the best possible position for the takeoff, and then to accumulate sufficient speed to assist with the near vertical lift. The takeoff, we've been talking about, the most important contributor to the height jump. Even the very sophisticated bar clearance techniques can't make up for the shortcoming of the takeoff action. And that's why this part of the action, the takeoff, is the most vital. An efficient takeoff depends on properly executed run up. A few centimeters can be added to the height jumped by improving the bar clearance action. And we all know, for coaching purposes, the high jump technique is usually divided into the run up, the takeoff, and the clearance.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। हाई जंप एक ऐसी टेक्निक है कि आपको अपने बार के ऊपर कंसंट्रेट करते हुए उसको क्लियर क्रॉस करना है। और जहां आप देख रहे हैं डिकाथलॉन के ये कॉम्पिटिटर्स, टोटल 10 पार्टिसिपेंट जहां पर हैं जो डिकाथलॉन में कॉम्पीट कर रहे हैं, और हर कॉम्पिटिटर के पास में अपनी अलग तकनीक है, अपनी अलग टेक्निक है। कोई सीजर से कर रहा है, कोई रोल ऑन कर रहा है, कोई बहुत बड़ी फ्लॉप कर रहा है, लेकिन केवल टारगेट एक ही है कि मैक्सिमम हाइट वो क्रॉस करें, और ताकि उनको अच्छे पॉइंट जहाँ पर मिल सके। क्योंकि डिकाथलॉन के 10 इवेंट्स जो होने हैं 2 दिन में, इनकी परफॉर्मेंस के आधार पर जो इन्हें पॉइंट्स मिलने हैं, क्यूमुलेटिव पॉइंट्स का जो टोटल होगा, उसके बेस पर विजेता घोषित होगा।
Afternoon session, the temperatures now rising. Early morning, it was nice, cool. We are just about 2 odd kilometers from the Arabian Sea on the west coast of India. When you come down from Mumbai, it's 35 degrees Celsius. What's the relative humidity? That's important. The humidity is there's a wind of 16 kilometers per hour. Well, the humidity is not high, just 28%. So that's okay. But 35 degrees, it is a little dry. 16 kilometers per hour is the wind factor. And we'll also explain to you the benchmarks for the high jump. In the high jump, Virender, for the benefit of our viewers, if you do 2.20 meters, then you get 1,000 points. Now, let's try and look at last year in Bhopal. And I don't know whether you were there in Bhopal last year. I saw the records and I did not see the decathlon as a part of the 2017 or 2022 National Youth Games, which are held in Bhopal. So if that be the case, then we won't have the decathlon and the high jump in particular. But we, as I said, I'm trying to get you up to date in case you're interested. If you jump 2.20 meters, then what you land up is 1,000 points. If you jump 2.10 meters, you get 900 points. If you jump 1.99 meters, you get 800 points. 1.88 meters, you get 700 points, so on and so forth. The just for the benefit again, as we watch one of the athletes, 518, using the scissor, the morning session, 508 is Yargandu Vinajayevulu of Andhra Pradesh.
Now, we have the presentation of athletes who are participating in discuss performance men and age. Double 6'9", representing Rajasthan, Manish. 5'6"
So the introduction of the athletes for the second event of the afternoon session, the discus throw for boys under 18.
5'7"
Tanishq of Haryana. The earlier introductions were Manish of Rajasthan, Ritik of Haryana, Sai Gaurav of Tamil Nadu, Tanishq that you just saw, Swaraj Ankush Gaikwad of Maharashtra, Sudhanshu Kumar of Bihar, Usman Ali Khan from Madhya Pradesh, Abdul Rahman from Uttar Pradesh with the second of the discus throwers, Sarthik Singh, Brijmohan Singh Farswan of Gujarat, and Hemant Singh Raghuvanshi of Madhya Pradesh, and completing the 14 is Dheeraj Yadav of Uttar Pradesh. 14 to start off with in the discus, but I suspect a few of them are not in the fray. So the decathlon was there in Bhopal, and if you look at the high jump, right now we are looking at the high jump, the decathlon. In the high jump, 1.64 meters, Arvind garnered up 496 points. 1.79 Aditya 619 because he soared to 1.79. So the best amongst the athletes at Bhopal in the high jump was Aditya Krishnan of Kerala, 1.79 meters, and he got 619 points. It's a very complex art. How do you arrive at 496, or how do you arrive at 619 or 338? But the point is that you do get point for everything, and that's why Virender emphasized that the higher you jump, the more points you'd secure for yourself.
Yes, it totally depends on the performance.
The faster you run, the more points you'll get for yourself. The longer you jump, the more points you'll get. The farther you throw in the shot put or in the discus, the more points you'll get. And likewise in the javelin and the 1500 meters.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने. जितना अच्छा आपका परफॉर्मेंस होगा, जितना डिस्टेंस आप ज़्यादा कवर करेंगे थ्रोज में और जंप्स में, और जितना अच्छा टाइमिंग आपका होगा ट्रैक इवेंट्स में, उसी के आधार पर आपको पॉइंट्स जो मिलेंगे, और वही एक आपका आधार होगा इस प्रतियोगिता में पहले स्थान पर आने का. और कोशिश सभी की यही रहेगी कि वे अपना बेस्ट यहाँ पर दें. ये कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप ट्रैक के सारे इवेंट्स में परफेक्ट सकता है. 1500 मीटर आपका स्ट्रांग हो, लेकिन हर्डल में आप इतने ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग ना हो. परंतु जो परफॉर्मेंस आपका 1500 मीटर का है, वह यदि बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस है और बहुत अच्छे पॉइंट्स वहाँ अगर आपने गेन कर लिए हैं, तो डेफिनेटली आपके पास में क्यूमुलेटिव पॉइंट्स जो होंगे उसमें लीड अच्छी मिल जाएगी आपको.
Manish of Rajasthan, the first of the discus throwers. The meet record Arjun in Coimbatore 64.09 in 2010, and the national record Arjun, same place Coimbatore, 64.09. So Virender, if you're talking of the discus throw record for the boys under 18, this is the 13th year and the record is still not broken. 64.09. The qualifying mark for the Asian youth is 53.75.
बिल्कुल आपने सही कहा है. लेकिन बीच का जो एक हमारा बड़ा बुरा समय पूरे विश्व में ही निकला है, 2 साल का कोविड का, जिसके कारण प्रैक्टिस बच्चों की काफ़ी ज़्यादा इफेक्ट हुई है. और ये जो 18 साल वाले आज यहाँ पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, उस समय इनका एज ग्रुप कुछ और था, तो वो जो एक समय रहा है जिसके कारण इनको प्रॉपर प्रैक्टिस का समय नहीं मिल पाया, उसका एक प्रभाव इस पे रिकॉर्ड्स पे ज़रूर पड़ा होगा। परंतु पुनः एक बार फिर सभी जो हैं अपने अपने प्रैक्टिस के साथ अपने कोचेज़ के सारे डायरेक्शंस को फॉलो करते हुए यहाँ पर हैं, और उसी के नतीजे जो आज पहली इवेंट यहाँ पर हुई है 3000 मीटर की, उसमें हमें यहाँ पर देखने को मिले हैं।
अगर आप वीरेंद्र, जब हम डिस्कस की बात करें, बट वी ऑल्सो कीप ऑन शिफ्टिंग बिटवीन द हाई जंप, डिकैथलन एंड द डिस्कस। अगर आप भोपाल की वापस बात करें तो अतुल ने वहाँ पर डिस्कस जीता था बॉयज अंडर 18 में, एंड ही हैड हर्ल्ड द डिस्कस टू 57.44। तो अगर वो, और नंबर 2 ने 56.81, तो अगर पहले दूसरे तीसरे ने 56.10 किया था, चौथे ने 54.55 किया था, तो अगर ये तीनों का जो मार्क भोपाल का है वो यहाँ अचीव करे तो तीनों उज़्बेकिस्तान के हवाई जहाज पे चले जाएंगे।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, आपने सही कहा है। और जहां आप देखें भोपाल वाले रिजल्ट्स को, फर्स्ट 57, 56, 56, लेकिन यदि हम सामने डेसिमल्स में जाते हैं, केवल अंतर वहां है। 57.44 की फर्स्ट प्लेस थी, सेकंड और थर्ड में जो था 56.81 और 56.10 मीटर। तो वही परफॉर्मेंस यदि यहाँ पर दोहराया जाता है तो निश्चित रूप से उज़्बेकिस्तान के लिए आप लोग तैयार रहें। और फिलहाल तैयारी चल रही है डिस्कस थ्रो इवेंट की।
Sai Gaurav, who comes from Tamil Nadu, the discus throw, which has been the domain where you have to execute with a great speed. It's a classic of all athletic events, and we all know its origin is steeped in the history of ancient Greek culture. We all know the famous style which is depicted in the Olympic movement, a discus thrower. So the discus throw goes back to the ancient Greek times.
And here it is Tanish from Haryana. And now we are switched over to the long jump. The bib number 245 Poonam of Rajasthan. 155 Tamanna from Haryana. 158 Muskan from Haryana. 216 Sakshi Bhaskar Chhattar from Maharashtra. 127 Ramani Kumkum from Gujarat. 170 Preeti Lakra of Jharkhand. 207 Mubasina Muhammad from Lakshadweep. 282 Pavina Rajesh from Tamil Nadu. 203 Janice Tessa Regi from Kerala. 285 Nishantini S from Tamil Nadu. 224 Roma Tendal from Maharashtra. And 288 Sabrine Thavomi from Tamil Nadu.
अगर आप जो मीट रिकॉर्ड और नेशनल रिकॉर्ड के नाम अगर देखेंगे, बोथ ऑफ देम आर डूइंग वेल नाउ एट दी नेशनल लेवल। नेशनल रिकॉर्ड शैली सिंह के नाम पे है, जो अंजू बॉबी जॉर्ज के एकेडमी में बेंगलुरु में प्रैक्टिस करती हैं। 6.48 मीटर्स का जो 2021 में सेट किया था। और अनैना जेम्स दूसरी होनहार लॉन्ग जंपर है, जिन्होंने बेंगलोर में 2012 में, तो 2012 से यानी 11 साल हो गए ये रिकॉर्ड नहीं टूटा है यूथ गेम्स में। तो ये दर्शाता है कि इतनी आसान नहीं है रिकॉर्ड्स ब्रेक करना थोड़े इवेंट्स में। और लॉन्ग जंप शायद वही है, अंजू बॉबी जॉर्ज द नेम विच एंड मयूका जॉनी, ये जो दो नाम है लॉन्ग जंप में गए 15-20 साल से, हम 25 साल से देख रहे हैं। और अब तो अंजू बॉबी जॉर्ज, हमने निटजैम में उनसे बात की थी।
कुछ समय में बीच में एक महाराष्ट्र से भी नाम आया था, श्रद्धा घुलेगा, जो कुछ समय तक के लिए लॉन्ग जंप में काफ़ी अच्छा नेशनल पर परफॉर्म कर रही थी। और फिलहाल शैली सिंह जो कि अब सीनियर्स में है, परंतु परफॉर्मेंस उनका अभी भी अच्छा चल रहा है। निश्चित रूप से यहाँ पर रिकॉर्ड उनके नाम से है 6.48 मीटर्स के साथ, जो वर्ष 2021 में स्थापित किया गया था। लेकिन मीट रिकॉर्ड की यदि हम बात करें, मीट रिकॉर्ड 2012 का है, नयाना जेम्स के द्वारा स्थापित किया गया था। काफ़ी लंबा अंतराल, काफ़ी लंबा समय, परंतु उम्मीद कि यहाँ एक बार फिर उडुपी में लॉन्ग जंप के गर्ल्स इवेंट में क्या हमें नया कीर्तिमान यहाँ पर देखने को मिलेगा।
So 14 starters in the girls long jump. The discus also on at the other end. Usman Ali Khan of Madhya Pradesh. We're talking of Greek culture, from the evidence contained in the arts of ancient Greeks. More has been written about the discus thrower than almost any other athletic performer, and he has been made the subject of many a sculptor's chisel. The most famous, of course, is the Discobolus by Myron, which depicts the thrower in a most unusual pose and is probably the best of the artist's impressions. 14 of the discus throwers under 18. We'll also try and update to you in the discus and the long jump as to how many athletes are there. We're watching Sudhanshu Kumar of Bihar. Earlier on it was Usman Ali. It's now Sudhanshu Kumar of Bihar. Usman Ali 46.45, way below the qualifying mark of 53.75. 3 of the throws and then down to the 8, or is it the straight? It's the straight top 3. The straight top 3. So 14 down to 8, and that's why it's important that these discus throwers and the long jumpers try to maximize their efforts in the first 3 itself. कल के लिए नहीं छोड़ सकते।
कल के लिए तो खैर सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता है, क्योंकि कंपटीशन आपको आज ही अगर स्टार्ट हुआ है तो आज ही खत्म करना है।
नहीं, मेरा कहने का मतलब है 3 के बाद मैं और अच्छा करूंगी या करूंगा,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
वो नहीं चलेगा।
बेस्ट आपको परफॉर्मेंस इन जो आपके पहले 3 राउंड होने वाले हैं, इसमें आपको अपना बेस्ट देना होगा, ताकि आप बेस्ट ऑफ 8 में अपनी जगह बना पाएँ। तभी आपको अगले 3 राउंड में जो है परफॉर्म करने का मौका मिलेगा। फिलहाल 14 कॉम्पिटिटर्स हैं डिस्कस थ्रो बॉयज़ अंडर 18 में, और नेशनल रिकॉर्ड और मीट रिकॉर्ड दोनों ही बॉयज़ अंडर 18 के डिस्कस थ्रो के अर्जुन के नाम से हैं 64.09 मीटर्स के साथ, जो वर्ष 2010 में स्थापित किया गया था। फिलहाल 747 सार्थक सिंह उत्तर प्रदेश के, जैसे सुबह हैमर थ्रो इवेंट चल रहा था और हैमर थ्रो के टाइम पे भी वीरेंद्र वागले जी ने जो है रोटेशन की स्पीड और आपके एंगल ऑफ थ्रो के ऊपर बात करी थी, वही सेम चीज़ यहाँ पर भी लागू होती है कि आपका रोटेशन के साथ साथ आपका जो स्पीड है रोटेशन की और परफेक्ट थ्रो एट परफेक्ट एंगल, तभी आपको एक अच्छी ग्लाइड मिलेगी, एक अच्छी फ्लाइट मिलेगी और ज़्यादा डिस्टेंस आप कवर कर पाएंगे।
Vikas Gowda is a name. Remember Sarthak 42.97. Vikas Gowda, who was the India number 1 for a long time, has now settled down. In fact, he was in the US, where he went to study. His father took him there, and he never looked back, doing so well for India over the years.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। विकास गौड़ा एक महान शख्सियत डिस्कस थ्रो की भारत के लिए, और ये फिलहाल ब्रिज मोहन सिंह Bib number 549. कुछ ही समय पहले निटजैम में जब हम पटना में मिले थे, उस टाइम विकास गौड़ा के साथ आपको रूबरू कराने का मौका मिला था और तब आपने उनके विचार अवश्य सुने होंगे.
बिल्कुल. Some of the other names which I'm sure these youngsters, Brijmohan Faraswan of Gujarat, 45.75. The other big names in Indian discussion. You know, one of the reasons, Virendra, why I talk of the past is that these young boys and girls must obviously emulate some of them. अपनी खुद की स्टाइल है, लेकिन जब आप अपने जो कंटेम्प्रेरीज या सीनियर्स को फॉलो करते हैं, उनसे काफ़ी सीखते हैं. अनिल कुमार अगर आपको याद है, देयर वर टू अनिल कुमार्स, वन वाज इन द डिस्कस एंड द अदर वाज 100 मीटर्स. अमित खन्ना के साथ में था. फिर आप अगर पीछे जाएंगे तो मक्खन सिंह थे डिस्कस में, विनोद कुमार था, विकास गौड़ा की तो हमने अभी बात की है. लेकिन डिस्कस शॉर्टपट थोड़ा वक्त ऐसा भी था कि शक्ति सिंह रांगी जो हमारे साथ निटजैम में भी थे, जो गुवाहाटी में भी थे, उन्होंने दोनों अपनाया था. डिस्कस भी करते थे, शॉर्टपट भी करते थे. 41.02 for Manish. That was the earlier athlete. We're now into the second round of the boys discuss. I don't have to mention this is under 18, so I don't need to say this is the under 18 event. This entire championship, the 18th National Youth Athletic Championship, is all about under 18. 44.4 in round 2. He's bettered his earlier best. Ritik 49.30. There you are, Manish, just going off your picture frame. 41.06, bettering it to 44. Ritik 49.36. This is the second round of the discus.
And here it was a foul. डिस्कस जो है रिलीज करते सार ही नेट में जा उलझा और सही दिशा प्राप्त नहीं कर पाया. काफ़ी निराशा हुई होगी यहाँ पर ऋतिक को.
Yes, the angle of release that you now watch, look at that angle. The aerodynamics factor, very, very important. It's necessary to keep the discus flowing efficiently through the air. The discus is like a foil, aerofoil in the air. And the most important factor in the discus, I keep on emphasizing, is the speed of release. But if the discus leaves the hand in such a way that it presents a large surface to the air, then the true value of the throw will be lost because of the air resistance, considerably reducing the effect of the release speed. कितना टेक्निकल बन गया नहीं स्पोर्ट. पहले भी था टेक्निकल 1896 में, बट अब वीरेंद्र मॉडर्न साइंस, मॉडर्न स्पोर्ट साइंस की बदौलत every single action can make the difference between a gold medal, a silver medal, a bronze medal and no medal.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने कि आपका जो हर एक्शन, हर मूवमेंट है, स्पेशली थ्रो इवेंट के अंदर, वो आपको जो है काफ़ी कुछ गेन भी करवा सकता है, काफ़ी कुछ अर्जित भी करवा सकता है और आपको नुकसान भी कर सकता है.
Yes, that's why they say this was 567. Tanishq of Haryana, 45.28 in round 1. We haven't seen anyone anywhere close to 53.75, Virendra.
No. We have 49.36, the Ritik of Haryana, and now here the second throw of Tanishq is 44.69 meters.
Is it the 35 degrees, which is making an effect on them.
Here we
51.57.
have Vaibhav
Strong man, very strong man.
with a distance of 51.57 meters in the very first throw.
And where does it come from? I don't have to tell you that.
Himachal Pradesh.
Haryana.
Vaibhav is from Himachal.
Himachal Pradesh. Correction. Sorry. Tanishq was from Haryana. He's from Himachal Pradesh. But out of the mark there, the red flag goes up. 51.57. Disappointed with a no throw in round 2. Yes, the expert discuss thrower first of all puts a high speed in his own body. You'll watch that now. And hence the discuss by using some form of the running rotational movement, by using the movement across the circle and then adding to the initial speed by performing a powerful long arm slinging movement.
स्वराज अंकुश गायकवाड़ नंबर 627 महाराष्ट्र के पहला थ्रो उनका था 46.25 मीटर का और दूसरा अटेम्प्ट उनका देखना होगा. .26 meters. और इसके पश्चात तैयार हैं 616 उस्मान अली खान जो कि मध्य प्रदेश का प्रतिनिधित्व कर रहे हैं. प्रॉपर रोटेशन, प्रॉपर एंगल ऑफ थ्रो और प्रॉपर फ्लाइट यदि आपको मिल जाए तो निश्चित रूप से एक अच्छी दूरी आपकी डिस्कस जो है वो तय कर लेती है. पहला थ्रो रहा है 46.85 मीटर्स का और ये दूसरा अटेम्प्ट उनका फिफ्टी के आसपास नज़र आ रहा है. उस्मान अली खान मध्य प्रदेश के .80 मीटर्स. ग्राफ नीचे की तरफ गया है थोड़ा सा उस्मान अली खान का. और उसके बाद में अगले प्रतियोगी हैं सुधांशु कुमार जो कि बिहार से हैं. पहला अटेम्प्ट उनका फाउल हुआ था और ये दूसरे राउंड में परफॉर्म करते हुए सुबह मौसम काफ़ी सुहाना था, ठंडक थी यहाँ मौसम में, हवा भी अच्छी चल रही थी. परंतु फिलहाल हवा चल रही है परंतु टेम्परेचर तापमान जो है वह थोड़ा बड़ा हुआ. सुधांशु कुमार का ये सेकंड अटेम्प्ट रहा है 45.68 मीटर्स का. डिस्कस थ्रो का ये फाइनल इवेंट. और फिलहाल स्क्रीन पर हैं 739 अब्दुल रहमान 47.23 मीटर के साथ पहला अटेम्प्ट रहा था इनका. केवल एक प्रतियोगी बीच में हिमाचल प्रदेश के अभी तक है जो कि ये दूसरा राउंड आधे से ज़्यादा पूरा हो चुका है, जिनके द्वारा जो एक मार्क अचीव किया गया है 51.57 मीटर का, उसके नज़दीक अभी नहीं आ पाया है कोई. और अब्दुल रहमान जिन्होंने पहले अटेम्प्ट में 47.23 मीटर किया था और सेकंड थ्रो इनका 50.68, एक अच्छा अटेम्प्ट. और फिलहाल दूसरे स्थान पर हो गए हैं दूसरे ही राउंड में. 47.23 से 50.68 एक अच्छा डिस्टेंस उन्होंने कवर किया है। और इसके पश्चात
ये क्या कर रहा है मेरे ख्याल से पहले का
ये चेंज नहीं कर रहा सर। और ये सार्थक सिंह पहला थ्रो था उनका 42.97 का, और उसके पश्चात दूसरे अटेम्प्ट में 41.95, लगभग 1 मीटर कम थ्रो फेंका है उन्होंने पहले राउंड के कंपैरिजन में। (549) ब्रिजमोहन सिंह पासवान गुजरात के। पहले अटेम्प्ट में रहा था 45.75 मीटर्स, और ये उनका दूसरा अटेम्प्ट। डिस्कस थ्रो हो, शॉर्टपुट हो, या चाहे हैमर थ्रो, रोटेशन और प्रॉपर एंगल और प्रॉपर पावर आपके शोल्डर्स में और आपके आर्म्स में होना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। फिलहाल धीरज यादव 39.77, काफ़ी कम थ्रो रहा है इनका पहला वाला। देखना होगा दूसरे थ्रो में ये कितना अचीव करते हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश से हैं धीरज यादव।
Yes, that's why Virender, the final flinging position जो हम कहते हैं, final flinging position does not actually provide quite the same proportion of the throw as the final pushing movement on the shot, and it is nevertheless an extremely significant part of the whole action that you're watching there on your frame. And most throwers, of course, spend a lot of time the technique training to achieve that final position at the end of the day. The speed of the release in the final flinging action, of course, is dependent so much. And I'm repeating, the speed of the release of the final flinging action is dependent upon the force and the range over which the force is made to act.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही कहा कि जो आपका मूवमेंट है, जो आपका रोटेशन है, उसके साथ में जो आपका रिलीज़ है, वो अगर उसकी टाइमिंग ठीक है तो डेफिनेटली आप एक अच्छी डिस्टेंस कवर कर पाओगे। और इसके साथ ही ये तीसरा राउंड यहाँ पर शुरू हो चुका है डिस्कस थ्रो के फाइनल इवेंट में। मनीष, जिनका पहला अटेम्प्ट रहा था 41.02, सेकंड रहा था 44.40, और ये तीसरा अटेम्प्ट थर्ड राउंड में देखना होगा कितना जाता है। यदि हम परफॉर्मेंस देख रहे हैं दोनों राउंड्स में 41 से 44 3 मीटर का उन्होंने गेन किया था, और देखना होगा इस ग्राफ को मेंटेन कर पाते हैं या नहीं। लेकिन डाउनफॉल है यहाँ पर 43.87 का, ये तीसरा अटेम्प्ट उनका गया है। इसके पश्चात आ रहे हैं ऋतिक, हरियाणा के।
Not only Virender has things as the introduction being done for the event at the far side.
और इसी के साथ हम शॉर्टपुट की तरफ भी बढ़ चले हैं, और फील्ड पर आपके सामने इंट्रोडक्शन चल रहा है शॉर्टपुट गर्ल्स अंडर 18 का। फिल्म नंबर 199 डोना मारिया डोनी, जो कि केरला से है। 283 शाना रमन, जो कि तमिलनाडु से हैं। उसके पश्चात 312 मानसी सिद्धू उत्तर प्रदेश से, और अनुप्रिया वीएस केरला से।
काफ़ी लोग काफ़ी थ्रोअर्स जो होते हैं वीरेंद्र, यू टेक द डिस्कस, यू टेक द शॉर्ट पट, यू टेक द हैमर। a lot of these athletes हमेशा कहते हैं आप तो टीवी के ऊपर ट्रैक ज़्यादा दिखाते हैं, तो लो गए, एक घंटे से हम आपको सिर्फ थ्रोज बता रहे हैं।
बिल्कुल 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 सही कहा आपने।
और throws may be it's such a pleasant sight to watch. If you're a very passionate athlete, then it's just not throwing, isn't it? It's an art, it's skill, it's so much of finesse that you watch these athletes, and when you watch them at the world stage, as we come back to the discus throw for boys, that mark of 53.75 is still eluding. आप
बिल्कुल
अगर देखेंगे तो मेरे ख्याल से एक ही लड़का है जिसने शायद 51 पॉइंट कुछ थ्रो किया है, एक 50 पे है,
51.57
बट 53.75 के पास पहुंचना बहुत मुश्किल लग रहा है।
53.75 और 51.57 यदि हम देखें तो लगभग 2.25 मीटर का ये एक डिस्टेंस है। और थ्रो इवेंट्स में जो है कुछ नहीं कहा जा सकता, कौन से अटेम्प्ट में, कौन से राउंड में, किस अटेम्प्ट में जो प्रॉपर रोटेशन और स्विंग के साथ में अगर प्रॉपर रिलीज सही टाइम पे हो गया और वही उसका अगर क्लिक कर गया परफेक्ट थ्रो, तो डेफिनेटली एक और यहाँ पर जो है क्वालिफाइंग मार्क्स को टच करने वाले।
हम एक ही नाम के बारे में जो हम गए 5-6 महीने से हमारी लाइव टेलीकास्ट के ऊपर बात कर रहे हैं। वी वॉच वन मोर डिस्कस थ्रो। नीरज चोपड़ा का वो जो एक जैवलिन का जो थ्रो था,
बिल्कुल
वो कितना फर्क पड़ गया। एक थ्रो ने
सिर्फ एक थ्रो
सिर्फ सब कुछ बदल दिया,
सब कुछ बदल दिया। और दैट उसी से डिसीजन हो गया। दैट वाज दैट इटसेल्फ डिसाइडेड।
नहीं, देखो इंडियन एथलेटिक्स की जो फ्यूचर है, इंडियन एथलेटिक्स की, मैं नेगेटिव दृष्टि से बिल्कुल बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ। मैं तो ये चाहता हूँ कि सारे इंडियंस जो ओलंपिक्स, कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स, एशियन गेम्स में जाए वो मेडल लेके आए, लेकिन वो संभव नहीं होता। लेकिन आप ये देखो, अगर वो थ्रो नीरज चोपड़ा का ना होता,
बिल्कुल सही कहा
और
आपने।
हो गया है, उससे एएफआई बच्चों को जो लेना चाहते हैं एथलेटिक्स में, ना सिर्फ जैवलिन, आज अगर हम यहाँ देख रहे हैं कि करीबन 700-800 एथलीट्स आए हैं फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर द कंट्री, एंड ये 51.57, सो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम लुकिंग एट बेटरिंग।
और वैभव 588 जिनका पहला थ्रो रहा था 51.57 मीटर का, दूसरा अटेम्प्ट उनका फाउल रहा था दूसरे राउंड में, और ये तीसरा अटेम्प्ट काफ़ी अच्छा नज़र आ रहा है। जहां अभी थोड़ी देर पहले मिलिंद वागले जी बात कर रहे थे कि क्या कोई 53.75 के पास पहुंच पाएगा, लग रहा है यहाँ पर इनका जो थ्रो है 51.57 से काफ़ी ऊपर होना चाहिए। एक अच्छा अटेम्प्ट था, फ्लाइटेड थ्रो था, लेकिन नहीं, 49.02 मीटर। 51.57 से एकदम बहुत ज़्यादा नीचे आ गए हैं वैभव। लगता है सेकंड अटेम्प्ट में जो उनका फाउल हुआ है उससे थोड़ा डिमोरलाइज हुए हैं, लेकिन अपने कंसंट्रेशन को अपने इवेंट पर ज़्यादा बरकरार रखना होगा यदि वे अच्छा परफॉर्म करना चाहते हैं। इसके पश्चात है स्वराज अंकुश गायकवाड़ 46.25, 47.26, एक मीटर की बढ़त दोनों राउंड में इन्होंने बरकरार रखी है अपने परफॉर्मेंस में। बिल्कुल, यदि देखा जाए स्वराज अंकुश गायकवाड़ का ये परफॉर्मेंस, पहला अटेम्प्ट रहा 46.25 मीटर, दूसरा 47.26, 1 मीटर की बढ़त ली थी, और उसके पश्चात तीसरे अटेम्प्ट में रहे हैं 49.22, 2 मीटर की बढ़त यहाँ पर ली है उन्होंने अपने तीसरे अटेम्प्ट में।
But the moot question, Virender, is still the same. Usman Ali 46.85, 45.80. The moot question is, हम कहते ना इतने पास हूँ मैं, 53.75 के इतने पास हूँ मैं, लेकिन वो जो नंबर है, आंकड़ा है 53.75, मुझे बहुत दूर लग रहा है।
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने, दूर बिल्कुल दिख रहा है, परंतु मैं फिर वही बात दोहराऊंगा कि सही वक्त पर कोई भी एक अटेम्प्ट अगर यदि किसी का सही क्लिक कर गया।
मेरे को बताओ, फ्रॉम द टाइम मैं अगर देखूं कि ये पोजीशन से लेके इसके बाद ये पोजीशन तक, यानी जब डिस्कस ग्राउंड को हिट करता है, शायद 31 सेकंड की एक्टिविटी होगी, 31 सेकंड की, 25-30 सेकंड की। मैं कहता हूँ जब वो एंटर करता है केज में, फेंकता है, तो 25-30 सेकंड,
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
25-30 सेकंड डिसाइड करता है कि मैं 53.75 कर पा रहा हूँ कि नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ। वो
ये आप बात कर रहे हैं कि जब वो सर्कल में एंटर करता है, परंतु परफॉर्मेंस उससे ज़्यादा निर्भर करता है उस सर्कल के अंदर एंटर होने से पहले।
हाँ, but the point,
आप अपनी मानसिक स्थिति को कितना कंट्रोल और कितना कंसंट्रेट करते हैं अपने परफॉर्मेंस।
Yeah, but the point I'm making, Virender, is that in those 15, 20, 25 seconds, आपने पिछले 15 मिनट में कुछ नहीं किया और अब कर सकते। There you are. He's got a 50.68. Should be close in round 3. The ultimate value, of course, of the force propelling, the force that we've been talking about, propelling the discus, will depend upon the power which the athletes can produce. Power, of course, strength and time dependent. So provided the movement is performed at peak speed, the strength is the only other variable factor. 53.07, God! Virender, 53.07 is nearly there. Abdul Rahman, look at his performance, 47.23, 50.68, 53.07, just a few numbers below 53.75. So he is amongst the top discus throwers out here. Abdul Rahman, 53.07.
बिल्कुल जिस तरह की आप चर्चा हम पहले कर रहे थे कि क्या 53.75 के नज़दीक कोई पहुंच पाएगा, और मैं बार बार इसी बात को दोहरा रहा था कि किसी का कोई भी एक थ्रो यदि क्लिक कर गया तो निश्चित रूप से इस मार्क को, इस फिगर को टच करना या इसको क्रॉस करना ज़्यादा दूर नहीं है। तीसरा अटैम्प्ट था अब्दुल रहमान का, जिसमें उन्होंने 53.07 मीटर का ये अटैम्प्ट किया है। और इसके पश्चात सार्थक सिंह, जिनका तीसरा अटैम्प्ट रहा 44.14 मीटर का। एक अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस अब्दुल रहमान का, जो कि उत्तर प्रदेश से हैं।
Dheeraj Yadav is the next of them. Brijmon, of course, was the earlier discus throw, 45.75, 46.46, and a no throw. This is Dheeraj Yadav, Uttar Pradesh. So from 39.77, he jumped to 45.89. Is he now bettered? 45.89. No, not only not bettered, but it was a foul. So he's got to be content with 45.89 after 3 rounds.
अहमद थ्रो में यदि हमें याद हो, सुबह नेहा यादव, जिनका जो ग्राफ था, पहला उनका अटैम्प्ट जो था वो फाउल था, परंतु दूसरा और उसके बाद लगातार आखिरी तक उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस जो था, उनका ग्राफ हर थ्रो में एक के बाद एक जो है वो प्रोग्रेसिव रहा है, ऊपर की तरफ ग्राफ गया है। वहीं यहाँ पर भी देखना होगा कि अब्दुल रहमान, जिन्होंने 47.23, 50.68 और उसके बाद सीधे 53.07 किया है, और ये थर्ड राउंड ख़त्म होने के पश्चात जो है बेस्ट ऑफ 8 यहाँ पर दिए जाएंगे, और इन ऑट को जो है असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में सेट करने के बाद रिवर्स ऑर्डर में इनका जो है थ्रो का जो इनको चांस है वो दिया जाएगा। फिलहाल लॉन्ग जंप की ओर गर्ल्स यूथ का ये लॉन्ग जंप इवेंट 13 कॉम्पिटिटर्स लॉन्ग जंप में फिलहाल यहाँ पर
So as many as four events on, the big one will come up in a short while. Of course, that is the semi-finals of the boys 100 meters. That's slated at 3:35, which is approximately 20 minutes from now. But we now get back to the long jump for women, or the girls under 18 to be precise.
and here it is Sabrine Savomi from Tamil Nadu.
The long jump, where you need to perform an efficient takeoff, reach the sufficient height for the flight, and execute movements in the air which allow for a good landing position. The two major factors that decide the distances jumped are therefore speed in the run up and the leg power for the takeoff. As fast running is largely an inherited characteristic, good long jumpers must obviously be excellent sprinters. At the same time, fast sprinters do not necessarily make good long jumpers unless they possess a high degree of jumping power. 5.33, 5.44. They need 5.81 to qualify for a place on the flight to Uzbekistan. So 4.78 for Poonam with a foul, and then in the third, a foul again. To 23rd 20 to 23 Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Tashkent, Uzbekistan. 20th to 23rd. So Tamanna 5.05, 4.93 in the first two. And that's why in the long jump, it is important to stress that the run up and the takeoff make by far the largest contributions to the long jump. Movements in the flight are only of secondary importance, counteracting the forward rotation that occurs at the takeoff and adjusting the body for an efficient landing position. 4.74 in the third. Muskan 5.07, a foul, and where does she now figure? She represents Haryana. Jump number 3. A clean jump there from 5.07. Where has she moved up? They're looking at 5.81, the qualification for Tashkent. Fourteen of them started 4.77. So she slipped from 5.07 to 4.77 in the third round. Of course, it has been universally accepted that the hitch kick or running in the air technique is the most efficient flight action. Sakshi Bhaskar 4.88, 5.03. And while the perfection of the hitch kick might take several years, there is no reason why a young athlete like these young athletes should not master the basic elements of the action in a relatively short time, provided an efficient single stride technique is established first. So 4.85 down from 4.03. Point oh nine, 5.36, close to 5.89. When will they achieve that? Time running out. The middle of April is when these young athletes will embark on that journey to Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan, for the Asian edition of the Youth Athletic Championships. The first time that the Asian Youth Athletic Championships under 18 were held was in 2015. They were held in Doha, where there were 40 events. Doha, the capital of Qatar, then Bangkok, Hong Kong, Kuwait, and now Tashkent. This, of course, is a biennial event, a biennial continental athletic competition for the Asian athletes, first held in 2015. That's the importance that is now attached to this, with Udupi here in the state of Karnataka hosting the 18th edition of the National Youth Athletic Championship, which is an important event from the qualification point of view of the Asian edition to be held in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. 5.73, 5.40, 5.57. Mubasina Muhammad of the Lakshadweep, Pavina Rajesh amongst the 5 meter plus 5.33, 5.23. How long a body remains in flight depends on the speed at the takeoff. The faster the jumper is at the takeoff, the longer he or she will stay in the air, and how far or how high the long jumper jumps depends, of course, on the takeoff angle. A smaller angle is more suited for distance, a larger angle for height. Two fouls there for Janice Tressa Regi of Kerala. Mayuka Johnny and Anju Bobby George, the two big names in women's long jump, both come from the state of Kerala. And here, Janice Tressa Regi with two fouls, not in the same groove that I'm sure the Kerala contingent wanted her to be. The afternoon session on day one of the 3-day meet here in Udupi. Nishantani S. Tamil Nadu, the red goes up. Wonder why she got that angle for herself, slanting across, making it difficult for her to get into the runway path. .05, 5.05 for Roma Tandel. She represents Maharashtra. The red up there, so she'll have to be content with 5.05. And the last of the long jumpers, Sabrine Thavomi J.A., Tamil Nadu. 5.48, 5.44, an opportunity in the third round to better these two figures. And while, if you watch this girl very carefully, while the long jump is one continuous action from the first stride of the run up to the final landing in the pit, for coaching purposes, it is best to divide it into separate phases of the run up, the takeoff, the flight, and the landing. "14 starters, 5.12, slipping from 5.48, 5.44, and 5.12 for Sabrine Thavomi J.A. of Tamil Nadu. So we have 5 minutes plus here for the start of the boys 100 meters semi-final. There will be 3 semi-finals. To decide who qualifies, as we now shift to the discus throw at the far end for men. Started at 240. So the discus throw has been going on for 5 minutes short of the 1 hour mark. discuss where the angle of the release is not quite such an important factor, provided that it is kept in the region of 30 degrees to 40 degrees. And this, of course, will need to be varied slightly depending upon the prevailing wind. And that's an important factor. Usman Ali 46.85, 45.80 as we now start the next phase of the competition. So the 14 weeded out to the final 8. We mentioned about the degree which we should be looking at 30 degrees to 40 degrees. And this, of course, will need to be varied slightly depending upon the wind. And quite naturally, discus throwers prefer a head on breeze, quartering from the right, as this will, of course, give the discus throwers the added lift. Swaraj Ankush Gaikwad, his best 49.22, round 5 on. And that's why, in the discus throw, wind is such an important factor that all modern stadiums have more than one circle so that the throwers can take advantage of it. In fact, in certain countries, I remember major competitions are held in centers where there is frequently a favorable wind, and this is often the case when a new world record is established. 50.68. So Ritik 56.18. He's breached the mark of 53.75. It has a no show, but Ritik, having thrown 56.18, has achieved the mark of 53.75. Vaibhav, representing Himachal Pradesh, round 5. His best 51.57. So Virender, one of them, Ritwik from Haryana, has heaved the discus to 56.18, and he has achieved the mark, as we will now shift from the discus throw to the first of the semi-finals in the 100 meters.
100 मीटर बॉयज़ का ये सेमीफाइनल और पहला सेमीफाइनल यहाँ आयोजित होने जा रहा है। 1 में है भारती कुमार कर्नाटका, 2 यारा बोलू तेलंगाना, 3 दुर्वे दीपक महाराष्ट्र, 4 पवन कुमार पांगी आंध्र प्रदेश, लेन 5 मोहम्मद रेहान ओडिशा, लेन 6 निशोक आर तमिलनाडु, 7 भूपन छेतिया असम एंड लेन 8 ललित भाटी दिल्ली। पहले सेमीफाइनल की ये शुरुआत और काफ़ी क्लोज फिनिश यहाँ नज़र आ रही है, लेकिन 658 मोहम्मद रेहान बासी जो कि ओडिशा के हैं, उन्होंने इस पहले सेमीफाइनल में पहला स्थान अर्जित किया है। ओडिशा फिर पहली हीट में डोमिनेट करता हुआ 100 मीटर इवेंट के अंदर, लेकिन देखना होगा कि क्या ये अपनी पोजीशन को फाइनल तक ये बरकरार रख पाते हैं। देखिए रिप्ले में बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत, सभी एक साथ, परंतु अंतिम जो 7-8 मीटर का फासला रह गया था, वहाँ पर 658 मोहम्मद रेहान बाशी जो कि ओडिशा के हैं, उन्होंने पहला स्थान इसे प्राप्त किया है।
Drawn in lane 5, so he had the advantage. Lanes 4 and 5 normally have the advantage of the middle, and that's what he took to himself to be the first of the qualifiers for the final of the 100 meters. Coming up now is the second of the semifinals. The meet record, Gurinder Veer Singh at Hyderabad 10.74 in 2017. The meet record, the national record, Ritik Malik at Mangalagiri 10.65. So the result of the first, Mohammad Rayan Basha of Odisha 11.18. Pawan Kumar Pange of Andhra Pradesh 11.38, and Lalit Bhatti of Delhi 11.40. Semi-final number 2. 8 of them to start off. They normally don't see a vacant 100 meters because that is the event where everyone wants to participate. Bench strength is good. We had a complement of all 8 in the first semi-final, which was won by Mohammad Rayan Basha of Odisha 11.38. This is the second of the semi-finals. With lane 1 Asim Khan 579, Nanubotu Latif 504 in second, Arya Kantakumar 635 Maharashtra, Prince Kumar Bihar, Sangineni Harsha Telangana, Mausumi Das Assam, Hrutik Surya Bihar Karnataka, and Lakshya Tyagi of Haryana.
सेकंड सेमीफाइनल 100 मीटर बॉयज़ का, और जिस तरह से पहले सेमीफाइनल में यहाँ जिक्र कर रहे थे, मोहम्मद रेहान बादशाह जिन्होंने 11.18 सेकंड का समय देकर पहला स्थान प्राप्त किया है इस पहले सेमीफाइनल में। यदि हम उनके हीट की तरफ ध्यान दें तो हीट में उनका टाइमिंग 11.08 सेकंड का था, परंतु सेमीफाइनल में टाइम थोड़ा सा पिछड़ता हुआ 10 सेकंड के 0.10 सेकंड के साथ। और इसी के साथ ये सेकंड सेमीफाइनल की शुरुआत, और फिर इस बार लेन नंबर 5-6 से आगे दिख रहे हैं वेब नंबर 717 लेन नंबर 5 के, जो कि तेलंगाना का प्रतिनिधित्व कर रहे हैं, सांगिनेनी हर्षा। देखिए एक बार पुनः रिप्ले के अंदर, वेब नंबर 717 लेन 5 से बिल्कुल आगे हैं, लेकिन यदि आप लेन 3 की तरफ नज़र डालें तो लेन 3, यदि आप फिनिश लाइन पर नज़र डालें तो कम से कम 2 कदम पीछे थे, और बहुत अच्छी फिनिश यहाँ पर सांगनीनी हर्षा तेलंगाना द्वारा सेकंड सेमीफाइनल।
Yes, that's why they say that in the 100 meters, the start is an essential part of the event. A good start takes a vital 100th or even 10th of a second from the total time compared with a mediocre start in a major game in which the athletes are well matched. The start of a sprint race may, of course, decide the result. Research, of course, in the 100 meters indicates that the coach should concentrate on improving the athlete's preferred style rather than attempting to alter it drastically. 10.97 for Sangineni Harshavardhan of Telangana is better than the first semi-final, where the timing clock was 11.18
18.
18. So 10.97 to 11.18. Number 2, Maharashtra's Arva Kandakumar 11.14 and Prince Kumar Bihar 11.38 is the way they finished. Who will, of course, the top two and then the top two losers, fastest rather, will qualify for the finals. Coming up now is Heat 3 or Semi Final 3 of the boys 100 meters.
And here's the lineup. In lane 1 is Lavi Sharma from Delhi. Lane 2, Ashish Kumar from Haryana. 3, Om Rajendra, Maharashtra. 4, Mutanna KY, Karnataka. Lane 5, Prashant Singh from Bihar. Lane 6, Anshu Rajak from Uttar Pradesh. Lane 7, Jasjeet Singh Dhillon from Punjab. And Lane 8, Rahul Sharma of Rajasthan. Timing. And here it goes. The semi-final heat 3. And here it is from lane 6. It is Anshu Rajak from Uttar Pradesh. Finishes at the first place.
So this was the third of the semi-finals of the boys 100 meters, in which this boy on a picture frame, 740, representing Uttar Pradesh, Anshu Rachak, towards the final 1 odd meter that he came up with a brilliant finish.
Here we have the results of the heat 3 of the semi-final. Boys, the winner of the first place is Anshu Rajak with timing of 10.92 seconds. As we have the timing of 10.97 second in the second heat of the semi-final by the Sangneni Harshvardhan. And now for the second place it is Om Rajendra Itkelwar from Maharashtra with 11.03 seconds and Muthanna KV from Karnataka 11.06 seconds.
So this is the last round of the discus throw for boys. Ritik 56.18. There he is, 56.18. And Virendra, a good performance. Look at him, 49.36, a foul, 39.60. You know, sometimes 39.60 can worry you. But he kept that at the back of his mind, made sure that no more mistakes, and he had a foul before that. So for him to get to 56.18 and achieve the qualifying mark is certainly creditable.
बिल्कुल जिस तरह की तीसरा राउंड यहाँ संपन्न हो रहा था और उस टाइम यही आशंकाएं लगाई जा रही थी कि क्या कोई 53.75 मार्क के आसपास आ पाएगा, क्योंकि उस टाइम जो परफॉर्मेंस चल रही थी उस टाइम पर जो बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस थी वो 49.02, 51.57 और 50.68 के परफॉर्मेंस थे। परंतु अचानक ये एक परफॉर्मेंस जो निकल कर आई है 56.18 ऋतिक हरियाणा के, और एक अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस क्वालिफाइंग मार्क को क्रॉस करते हुए और पुनः वर्चस्व हरियाणा का थ्रो इवेंट में अपना बरकरार रखते हुए ऋतिक। लास्ट एंड फाइनल राउंड ये चल रहा है डिस्कस थ्रो का। इसी के साथ डिस्कस थ्रो इवेंट यहाँ पर संपन्न होता है और शेष जो प्रतियोगिताएं आज आयोजित की जानी है शॉटपट वुमेन के फाइनल फिलहाल मैदान पर आयोजित किए जा रहे हैं।
So from the center of the field, we now cross to the long jump where the fifth round is in progress. The essential part of the long jump that we've been mentioning to you is the run up. The aim, of course, of the run up is to establish the maximum horizontal speed without inhibiting the takeoff. You'll watch that now. Muskan, best of 5.11. Preeti Lakra 5.27, 5.22, her best 5.40. The qualifying mark 5.81. So if you got to clear customs and immigration for Tashkent, then you need to achieve 5.81. I'm sure a lot of these young boys and girls would be very eager to pack their bags for the big exposure for the Asian Youth Championships to be held in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Pavina Rajesh, her best of 5.33. Two more rounds to go. She's come up with the red flag. So she has two fouls and a best of 5.33. The execution, of course, of the run up influences the quality of all the following phases of the jump, particularly the takeoff. It's always recommended that youngsters should use a 12 to 16 stride run up according to their development level. The run up, of course, should always be started with the same foot. This also ensures that the first strides are following a set pattern in order to reach the takeoff board accurately. Ramani Kumkum 5.49, now on a last attempt. And the much hated red goes up. In the long jump, some of the other essentials is to reach the speed as soon as possible. A fast acceleration ensures that the stride length remains unchanged, contributing to the accuracy on the board. That final heave, and needless to say, relaxation is important during the run up. The athlete has to concentrate on developing speed right from the beginning of the approach. So Mobasina Muhammad 5.83 has achieved the mark. She's been very consistent in her jumps 5.73, 5.40, 5.57, 5.47. But her fourth attempt at 5.83 clinched the deal. Mobasina Muhammad comes from Lakshadweep. And it is important to note that even a small place far away from the mainland Lakshadweep can produce someone like Mobasina with 5.83 and achieve the qualifying mark of 5.81. Wonder how many of you know where Lakshadweep is? And that's the beauty, Virender, of A5, which is now reaching out to every corner of India to make sure that athletic becomes a buzzword for the youngsters to take to this wonderful sport called track and field.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। एथलेटिक फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया का को इसका श्रेय अवश्य जाता है। और जिस तरह से अभी कुछ ही समय पहले पटना में हम लोग सब एकत्रित हुए थे और 6000 से अधिक की तादाद में, इतनी बड़ी संख्या में जो एक अंडर 16 का पार्टिसिपेशन वहाँ देखने को मिला था, वहीं से ये समझ में आ जाता है। और प्रत्यक्ष ये एक साक्षात हमारे सामने एक उदाहरण है कि एथलेटिक्स जो है वह अपने इस फील्ड में लोगों के दिलों तक, लोगों के मन तक कितना गहरा असर पहुंचा रहा है, ताकि जो कि लोग जो हैं वो एथलेटिक्स के साथ जुड़ते चले जा रहे हैं।
Well, we're joined here by Satish Uchil, and the reason why he's here is that jump, of course, of 5.83 by Mubasina Muhammad from Lakshadweep is what has prompted me to get him here. Satish, welcome to our chat out here. 5.83 by this girl from Lakshadweep. Who would have ever imagined that the long jump would go outside a state like Kerala or Tamil Nadu or some of the big cities? And this girl, 5.83 there on a picture frame, and a consistent 5.77, 5.40, 5.57, 5.47, and 5.83 just shows the amount of talent that we have in this country.
Thank you, Milind. Exactly, I endorse what you said. Many of the states which are little known for athletics are coming forward in the Athletics Federation of India fold, and I will not be failing if I say that Leh Ladakh is also part of our affiliated units, and we are getting the participants from the states like the Union Territories like Leh and Ladakh. This performance of Mubasina Mohammed is outstanding in my opinion. We so far we have seen very few athletes have qualified in 3000 meters. Some of the athletes have qualified, and in the field events, I think Mubasina Mohammed is the first person to get qualified for the upcoming Asian Youth Championship to be held at Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. So we look forward for the next 2 days so that more and more athletes get qualified and get an opportunity to represent India and make India proud.
Satish, if you look at the national record in the under 18, 6.48 Shaili Singh, who trains under Anju Bobby George. Naina James again, 5.94. This performance, and I'm again confining myself to Mubasina. These performances came from places which are well known for sports. The infrastructure is amazing. The icons like the Anju Bobby Georges and the Mayuka Johnnies, and I'm referring to the long jump because this is where she performed 5.83. For a girl from a far-flung place like Lakshadweep, and I'm going back to what you mentioned, that athletics is now spreading to the length and breadth of the country, and not only spreading, but producing champions.
Yes, exactly. And such girls like this girl who qualified for the long jump, she may not be having that much of infrastructure in Lakshadweep, that much of training facilities in Lakshadweep. I'm sure she will be identified and picked up by some of our expert coaches and trained either in Bangalore or some other places so that she can improve upon her performance from 583, and there is every possibility that she can go over 6.
We had Nit Jam just a few weeks ago in Patna where it was under 14 and under 16. How would you, as someone who's been with the AFI for 35, 38, 40 years, how would you look at something for an 18-year-old? Is it slightly late? Should she have been spotted a few years earlier, or would you still say time is there? 18 and below. She's in fact 17. She was 17 years on the 22nd of February last month. So she's not lost anything, isn't it?
No, I don't think so because the AFI mainly concentrates on and advocates that there should not be a specialization till under 16.
Wonderful.
So under 16, she must have been doing long jump along with other events, and now she has taken up long jump, which may be specialized for her in the future, and that will be a good decision because till 16 she has been not spotted. Now after crossing the age of 16, now the specialization is slowly coming into her life, and I am sure she will be a great asset to Indian
And
athletics.
this also means, Satish, that when she goes back to Lakshadweep with that gold medal, because I don't see anyone, here we got 5.33 and around that 5.83, I'm sure would be a gold for her out here. The official results will come in. But when she goes back with the gold medal, we talk of people who inspire. You don't need someone very big to inspire in your place. So the children will now watch her and say, if Mobasina from my place can achieve it, why can't I achieve it? And this will then catapult the youngsters in places like Lakshadweep to take to track and field. It need not necessarily be long jump.
Long jump.
It could be any
Any
other
event.
event in track and field in athletics.
Exactly, Lakshadweep may not be having many athletes, but she can become a role model in Lakshadweep, and she can definitely encourage people, motivate people, motivate the youngsters to come into athletics and participate. And Lakshadweep Athletic Association is also quite active, and I'm sure they will be happy to receive her with appreciation, and we look forward for the best from her in the near future.
Just one parting question from to you. This is the first day of the competition. Not very easy. You and I have been discussing this when we've been traveling from our place of stay to out here. Not easy for any association to organize events of such magnitude. And what I've seen over the last 3 months, Guwahati, the National Junior Championship, Nidjam, 6,000 athletes, and now here, close to 700 or 800, the figure. Uh, it requires a tremendous effort on the part of all of you from AFI to support a state association and the state association then in turn to support the district association.
Exactly, because Karnataka Athletic Association has been organizing so many nationals. Recently, they organized Open National Athletics. Then they were part of the Khelo India, and now they had come forward to conduct this youth athletic championship, and that also in a small town like Udupi. Udupi is a very small town, and it is very difficult to garner the logistics, but still they have managed to whatever possible they could do. They have done, and they have done, in my opinion, excellently.
So 2023 with four Grand Prix coming up, if my memory serves right, two in Tiruvananthapuram, two in Bangalore. We've had the specialized 400 meters events. We've had the throws in Bellary, uh, and the entire year is in front of us. 9 months of the year in front of us. Track and field athletics is looking good in 2023, leading to the Olympic Games in Paris.
Yes, of course,
And
because
of course, you have the Asian Games as well.
yes, yes, Asian Games is more important to us, and many more athletes will qualify for the Asian Games. That is true. But the initiative of the Athletic Federation of India to develop and popularize certain events where we are really good. Like javelin, we have been doing it for so many years, and we got the results. And similarly, in 400 meters also, we have been performing very well. That is the reason a separate 400-meter national has been introduced. At the same time, the jumps also the India is doing very nice, and that is the reason jumps has started. Grand Prix is always like a qualification trial plus a practice competition for everybody who's aiming the highest.
how can you not finish the discussion with you without mentioning the name of Alden 8.46, which would have got him a gold medal in Tokyo.
That is an outstanding performance. Everybody in India were so much elated that in case he had to do this performance in Tokyo, he would have been another gold medal along with Neeraj Chopra. Anyway, the international standard might have gone up, but we still hope in the next Olympics he will be in the podium, victory podium.
Well, 8.46, he would still be amongst the top five in the world with that particular jump. With Sri Kumar again giving him, or him giving Sri Kumar competition,
Good competition.
because between the two, it was the Sri Kumar who was the senior pro. So augurs well for athletics. Thank you so much, Satish. Pleasure talking to you. Uh, you've been very supportive to us in the Combox over the last so many years, along with so many of the other athletic officials, Lalit Bhanot, Adil Sumariwala, Madhukan Patak, Ravindra Chaudhary. I would be feeling, in fact, if I was not to say AFI as a team has really come together. I've been seeing the AFI for the last 45, 46 years, and I think the way you and the team, your team, has really performed is making sure that the kids and the parents say, why should I not take to athletics?
Exactly. This is the leadership counts. The leadership of the AFI is really making a change, and all of us, we also get motivated by their leadership, and it is wonderful working with AFI. Thank you, Milin. Thank you for everything.
So there you are. We will, to my left, of course, the long jump just about getting over. And we only have, I think, the 400 meters, the decathlon coming up in a short while. Now, I'm going to read out something for you which might be of a different interest to all our viewers here from the MG Stadium in Udupi. Lakshadweep is a tropical archipelago of 36 atoll and coral reefs in the Lakshadweep Islands, and it goes on to talk about the islands which are not all inhabited. Kavarati, one of the most developed islands, is home to dozens of various places of interest, including the ornamentally decorated Ujra Mosque as well as Kavarati Aquarium, showcasing regional fish, sharks, and coral. Now, why have I read this? There's a reason for it. That's because this girl comes from, in geography, if you remember years back, it used to be Amandevi, Minicoy, and Lakshadweep. It's now a part of the Union Territory of Lakshadweep. And this girl, Mobasina Mohammed, amazing, 5.83 in the long jump. She's taken the first position and achieved the qualifying mark of 5.81 for the Asian Youth event to be held in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Mobashina, मेरे को बताओ कि 5.83 आपने अचीव किया. आप ऐसी जगह से आती है जहाँ पर शायद इस देश के लोग जानते नहीं होंगे कि एथलेटिक्स क्या है. आपने एथलेटिक्स कैसे लिया और क्यों लिया? Well, I'll ask her to wait here and I'll ask him to speak. Javed is the coach. It doesn't matter. Let her be on frame at the end of the day, because I'll tell you, to get her in a few years from now is going to be extremely difficult when she goes up the ladder. Why has she taken क्यों उसने athletics or long jump in particular लिया?
Actually, she started from a long distance event, but now changed to a sprint and jumps. Finally, last youth national Bhopal gold in long jump and heptathlon also. She has more power in lower limb and upper body also. That's why doing heptathlon also.
Continue to be in the same frame along with the two of them. This girl may not talk much. I will ask her a question and she might answer me, but I think he'll do justice to that. Lakshadweep, we all go there as tourists and all the islands are not even inhabited. How easy or difficult is it for you to train her, and how difficult is it for her to continue to the sport? What is the incentive? क्या है उसके पास कि वह कहती है कि मैं athletics continue करूं?
Yes, Lakshadweep is totally isolated area. The training is also very difficult because many limitations is there. Because she is from Minicoy Island, I am from Kavarati. This is too much away from my island to Minicoy Island.
How far is it?
Minimum 8-hour journey to from Kavarati to Minicoy.
Can you imagine? I've got goosebumps on my body. Can you imagine? 8 hours separates the two islands, Minicoy and Kavarati. And also remember, the Indian Navy has a ship called INS Kavarati, where a friend of mine is on board that ship right now. Obviously, I can't tell you where that ship is. But 8 hours of travel, the amount of sacrifices that she does and you do, the results are coming now. And does that inspire you to say, मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, स्ट्रगल करनी पड़ती है? लोगों को शायद, बहुत से लोगों को पता नहीं. अगर आप यहाँ पूछेंगे लोगों को कि लक्षद्वीप कहाँ है, कावराती कहाँ है, मिनिकॉय कहाँ पर है, लेकिन आप कहते हैं क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है? मेरे को तो ये लड़की जो हासिल कर रही है वो मेरे लिए इंस्पिरेशन है.
Yeah, actually last year she and her family is changed to Kavarati for training only, because coach is only working in Kavarati for total 10 islands. In Lakshadweep total 10 inhabited islands, only one coach. coaches at Kavarati. That's why shifted from Minikoi to Kavarati. Whole family, she and one sister and two younger brother. All of you come to Kavarati for her training only.
One last question. Will her performance today and over the last few months inspire the other girls when she goes back from here with a gold medal and a qualification, hopefully for Tashkent? Will you be telling the girls and the boys कि ये कर सकती हैं तो आप लोग क्यों नहीं कर सकते?
Yeah, this is now the face of Lakshadweep is changed in the performance of Mubasina. All are coming to participate in athletics now. Athletics is improving. I'm sure and hopefully many of the athletes coming from Lakshadweep in future.
The Athletic Federation of India obviously must have done a lot to make sure that you guys travel all the way from there to Udupi.
Yes, I'm secretary of Lakshadweep Athletics Association.
Brilliant. There you are, the secretary of the Lakshadweep Athletic or the State Athletic Association. This girl, this photograph, for me, all that I can say is, God bless her. Let God continue and let human beings continue to give her the strength to continue to do this, because today there were 13 others who came from the big cities. They came from Hyderabad, Delhi, Chennai, Kerala, known for its long jump. And this girl made sure that I don't care where do you come from. For me, India is my pride and I will achieve 5.81. This is the picture which, I asked someone to click along with the two of them. And I'm sure in a few years from now, when I sit back, I will look at that picture when she wins a medal and a podium at the Asian Games, and who knows, in the Olympics as well. My good wishes to the two of you and to the Lakshadweep Athletic Association. All that I can say is continue to participate, continue to get us more athletes. I think you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yep, so there you are, the winner in the long jump, Mubasina Mohammed, taking the long jump 5.83.